This is Neural Newscast for Sunday, August 23rd, 2026.
A look at the global headlines defining the week.
From Neural Newscast, I'm Peter Rowan.
And I'm Isabel Moreno.
We begin with a week of significant aerial escalation in Eastern Europe as Ukraine launched one of its most expansive drone offensives to date.
Russia's Ministry of Defense reported intercepting more than 800 Ukrainian drones in a single night, claiming 600 of those targets were heading toward the Moscow region.
The strikes targeted critical logistics centers, including a massive warehouse belonging to the retailer Wildberries in Podolsk, causing major disruptions to Russian military supply chains.
Kyiv's strategy appears to be shifting toward bringing the economic reality of the conflict directly to the Russian public, though the human cost remains high on both sides.
Russia retaliated throughout the week with ballistic missile strikes hitting 13 Ukrainian regions, including a steel plant in Kryvyi Rih and a historic book market in Kyiv.
The violence also spilled over into neighboring territory when a Spanish F-18 on a NATO mission shot down a drone that breached Romanian airspace near the border.
Preliminary findings from NATO suggest the drone was Russian in origin, marking the fourth such incursion into Romania this year and keeping the alliance on high alert.
The scale of this week's activity is staggering, Peter, with over 1,500 attack drones and 62 missiles launched by Russia in just 7 days.
It suggests the conflict is moving into a new phase of infrastructure degradation, where long-range precision strikes leave neither side safe.
While the war rages in the East, the Middle East is facing its own set of critical deadlines and record-breaking military deployments.
The United States' Abraham Lincoln strike group reached 240 consecutive days at sea this week, a modern naval record set while enforcing a blockade of Iranian ports.
Admiral Brad Cooper visited the carrier to address growing concerns about sailor mental health and the supply chain strain resulting from the intense deployment.
This comes as a 60-day diplomatic negotiation window between the United States and Iran is set to expire tomorrow, with no signs of a breakthrough.
Tensions were further inflamed when President Trump suggested he would declare the Strait of Hormuz a United States territory once a victory is secured in the region.
Iran's deputy foreign minister dismissed the claim as a delusion, stating that United States aircraft carriers cannot rewrite international maritime law.
Amidst this, Jared Kushner held rare discussions in Egypt with Hamas leadership, attempting to broker a ceasefire that Israel has so far rejected.
It is a complicated picture of high-stakes diplomacy meeting hardened military postures, Isabel, particularly with the United States carrier relief still a week away.
While these global tensions persist, we've also seen major shifts in domestic policy and international governance this week.
In Zambia, security forces arrested 11 people, including senior opposition figures, alleging an insurrection plot involving foreign nationals and illegal military training camps.
These arrests occurred as incumbent Hakainde Hichilema maintains a strong lead in the presidential vote count, prompting cries of intimidation from the opposition.
International observers have expressed concern over the suspension of vote counting, noting that the democratic space in Zambia is increasingly constrained.
Closer to home, the United States Supreme Court declined to review a civil verdict against Donald Trump, finalizing the finding that he sexually abused and defamed E. Jean Carroll.
Separately, the president ordered the Pentagon to scale back joint military exercises with South Korea, citing his relationship with Kim Jong-un and rising costs.
Military analysts have criticized the move as an unforced error that could weaken alliances just as North Korea increases its own missile testing.
It's part of a broader trend where the administration is pushing personal diplomacy over traditional institutional frameworks.
We also saw this in the technology sector this week, with Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg publishing a manifesto advocating for open-source artificial intelligence.
Zuckerberg argues that open-source models will prevent a few corporations from controlling the future of AI, despite warnings from the IMF about global job displacement.
It's a bold stance that frames tech leaders as optimists, while the market sees increasing competition from Chinese models like Qwen and DeepSeek.
It's part of a broader trend where the administration is pushing personal diplomacy over traditional institutional frameworks.
We also saw this in the technology sector this week, with Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg publishing a manifesto advocating for open-source artificial intelligence.
Zuckerberg argues that open-source models will prevent a few corporations from controlling the future of AI, despite warnings from the IMF about global job displacement.
It's a bold stance that frames tech leaders as optimists, while the market sees increasing competition from Chinese models like Qwen and DeepSeek.
It's finally an emergent opportunity where industry sectors are pushing forward with technology on a mainstream level.
While the data is currently associative, some wellness clinics are already promoting the drug for longevity, though cardiologists are calling for randomized trials.
The intersection of biohacking and traditional cardiology is becoming a major point of discussion for the medical community this fall, Isabel.
Moving from human health to the health of the planet, this week was also defined by a series of devastating natural disasters.
A magnitude 7.7 earthquake struck the Indonesian island of Flores on Saturday, killing at least 68 people and decimating local medical infrastructure.
Survivors are currently sleeping in open fields due to constant aftershocks, and landslides have severed primary access roads to the hardest-hit villages.
In the United States, historic flooding in Indiana claimed 5 lives this week as the White River reached its highest levels in over a century.
First responders in Indianapolis had to rescue nearly 100 people and dozens of pets as over 11 inches of rain fell in a span of just 2 days.
And in the Pacific, Hawaii is still cleaning up after Hurricane Lala, which caused 1 fatality and widespread power outages on the Big Island.
These events remind us of the increasing volatility of global weather patterns as we move further into this record-breaking year.
As we look ahead to next week, we will be monitoring the final results of the Zambian election and the diplomatic fallout from the expired United States-Iran negotiating window.
We will also track the relief efforts in Indonesia and the potential for new economic shifts as clean energy funds continue to be a point of budget contention.
This has been Neural Newscast. Thanks for listening. Neural Newscast is AI-assisted, human-reviewed. View our AI transparency policy at neuralnewscast.com.